The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to the show. I'm here. So is Anya, Brian Frangie, and Noah. Hi, guys. This morning I was just trying to look up. I'm like running out of clothes here in LA. I only brought enough. I brought like a normal amount. I didn't go overboard, and I'm tired of my outfits. And this is why I always overpack, is because I like options and I don't have them right now. And I realize I don't dress cute anymore. There's no effort put in my outfits. Do you ever realize where you're like, oh, I'm giving up, kind of like, it's like almost like soothing to me, where I go, oh my God, like when I used to go to shows in Hollywood, I would be like, who am I going to run into? Who am I going to see? Who's going to see me? I got to look good. I might like, I don't know if there's just something in my brain that's shut off that's like, it does not matter. I am with someone, like, I don't know if it was about being like wanting to attract a mate potentially, but there's no thought that goes into looking desirable anymore. And it's really nice where you go, oh my God, like I left the house without thinking. I forgot my makeup. Like I was like, I'll do it in the car, but then I forgot it. And I go, oh, well, I guess I got to stop at CVS and get a mascara at least. But like that used to be a big part of my life, was making sure I looked cute. And as Sarah Lena says on the girls chat, the longer girls take ready, the less interesting they are. And she's always found a correlation between those two, which I fucking love. But I feel like I'm the most interesting ever now, because I just don't, I'm like a guy. I feel like I put as much effort in as a man. And it feels good.
You definitely have some makeup on today. I was going to remark on how lovely you look. Or is that just natural?
All I did, my hair is curled from being on set yesterday. So someone did this, but I slept on it. So I just brushed through it. And then I have eyebrows. I just put some gel on that's like, but I also dyed them yesterday, so they're darker. And then I just put mascara on. And then I put
Did you put mascara on the bottom?
Tinted. Yeah. Yes, I did. I always hit those lashes. I put on a tinted moisturizer. That's it.
Permanent tattoo eyebrows. I saw this a few times. What do you
any microblading
on this?
Love them.
Really? I've seen it. Just looks weird.
Is this 2015?
No, I've seen it where it's like it doesn't look good.
You can get your entire makeup tattooed onto your face now.
Just never put black pigment, because that turns blue.
That's what I've seen.
Well, I was actually going to bring this up. It's so funny you said that. Microblading was the sensation in like 2018, 19. It like was crazy. Everyone was doing it. I made an appointment. I got nervous before it and canceled it. Thank God, because there is a subreddit dedicated to microblade removal. All these girls that are just regretting it now, kind of like gauged ears, where that trend was happening back in the day. And I go,
brother.
These people are not going to want these holes in their fucking ears for the rest of their lives. These people are in their 20s. Don't they plan on living a little bit longer? But
God,
yeah, so people are having it removed, and there's a way to get it out. Yes.
I was having this about my veneers the other day. I got a little irritation the other day, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Here's my rant. It has been 4 months since I've gotten these fucking veneers. I know they look nice and everything, but I'm still not happy with them. I still feel like every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Bugs Bunny. Like they just don't feel right. I have to floss 3 or 4 or sometimes 5 times a day, use a sensitive toothpaste, sensitive fucking wash. I'm just like, I'm spending at least 30 minutes a day on dental care. That's it. Like 30 minutes, dude. It is insane.
Whoa.
I mean, now the pain is gone, but like 4 months in, this is normal. I want to go see the Kardashians guy in LA. I actually looked him up. I think Carlisle has seen him, but I just want someone to be like, I mean, I don't want this. I have a fear that he's going to look in my mouth and be like, Jesus Christ, what did they do?
What did they do? Yes.
Or I want someone to be like, this is great. You're fine. This is normal.
Right.
Every time you go to a new doctor, or if you every time you go to a new thing, a mechanic,
new hairstylist,
a doctor, a dentist,
what
hairstylist, they always start with, holy shit, you really got fleeced on this one. A contractor, they go into your bathroom, they go like, Jesus Christ. Oh, this is a Greg Warren bit that when the contractor,
Yeah, it is.
the new contractor comes in, they go, whoa, they really I can't believe they got away with it. They should be in prison for what they did to your bathroom. That's what you want the dentist to say about your veneers.
That's why I love my current hair and makeup girl. I got my hair done and it's been my lady was just had a baby. I texted her on the day. She was like, I just gave birth an hour ago, so I can't do it this week. And I was like, oh my God, thank you for like actually. I just liked that she was like, yeah, I just had a baby. But she wasn't like, we welcomed Michelle Lene into the world, 7 ounces. She was just like, I just had a baby. I'm sorry, I can't do your hair. Like still professional. Not that you can't announce your baby. That's fine. It's a huge accomplishment that everyone's done that exists. But she was just like, oh, I just had a baby today. Can someone else do it? What was that, Brian?
We've all done it too. Every man and woman alive has participated in childbirth.
Well, I just was thinking the other day when women are like, I'm a mother, it's special. I'm like, literally every person you see walking around, there's someone that had them. So it's maybe the most ununique thing ever. Like for every person you see at a baseball stadium, like thousands of people, there's women going, and like biting onto a piece of bark or whatever they used to do. Like it's very special if you do it, but it's not that special. It's done more than most of the things you do in your life that make you unique. Like most of the things you do in your life, motherhood will not be the most unique thing you do.
Give some credit to the baby also, because the baby, we've got to crawl through that tiny tunnel.
Choose to do it though.
We got to crawl through it and and it's traumatic for the baby. Then you got to get your umbilical cord snipped, and then if you're a Jew, you get your dick cut up. So
not just a Jew, like my sister and brother-in-law, I go, you're going to take this baby who has just been through the most traumatic thing of its entire life. And it's screaming wildly, has no idea what these lights are, is so freaked out. Now it's in like a little incubator. So now it's like not near anyone. And you're going to take it. And the next place you're going to take it, you're going to chop off its dick. And even if you numb it, there's a needle that goes into numbing it. So that's going to hurt. Like, why are we hurting babies right away? I've been on this rant before about circumcision. I really don't believe in it. I think you should get it done later if you want it. It should be a choice later I just think I think that causes that causes trauma. But what do I know? I truly don't know anything.
I'm glad my parents did it when I didn't know what was going on, because I don't think I'd want to go through the stress. But
you might be fucked up now for some reason because you had that trauma that you don't know about. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like you think that you want it, but you might be suffering in some way right now because your body remembers. The first thing I did on the first day I was alive was have my dick cut. What the fuck?
Also, how far is it from body? How far is it from, what is it, FGM or whatever, female genital mutilation? Like, how far is it from clitorectomies?
Very, very, very far. Very far.
Yeah, because they're cutting off the hood.
Yeah.
They're not cutting the clit.
I had a friend who did it when he was 35. And he just like constantly got infections and stuff. And that's why he had to do it later in life. And my God, he couldn't masturbate for 30 days. And finally, after it healed, he masturbated like, and when he came, like it just like shot up on the wall. Did he come a
scab?
It was so much.
Was it like a little BB scab that flew off and hit his dog in the eye?
My friend Darren.
That's so funny. Well, and you know what? I understand why they do. Everyone goes, it doesn't have to get infected if you just clean it. But everyone's like, but these are boys. Like, we'll leave the clitoral hoods on. Women seem to know how to use some soap. Men are just, like, no, I'm not trying to be one of these women that shits on men. And it's like, they're all disgusting. But based on my experience on F-Boy Island and then our next show, F-Girl Island, the girls' quarters and the boys' quarters are very different places for the cleaning crew, from what I've heard. And I know these are F-boys, but half of them are nice guys that, had good moms and good parents that probably cleaned up for them.
Is it dirt? Is it dirt versus being disorganized, like in that way?
Oh, I wonder. I'll ask that because I think, I've met boys and girls all over the spectrum of dirty. Like there are some dirty girls. We know that like stinky stinks, and then there's like me. I'm disorganized, and I can be a little dirty. I'm not gonna lie. I can get a little gross. But it's I think men. the thing I don't understand is when someone's dirty and they don't know it. And they just like invite people over their house. We've talked about this before, I think, but like you go over to someone's house, if someone goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I just have to go in and grab my jacket. You can come in if you want, but it's disgusting and I'd rather you not. And someone goes, oh, I'll come in. If that person's disgusted by what that person sees, that's their fault because they were warned about it. This person's self-aware. You can be disgusting if you're self-aware. If you invite someone over and your house is gross, and you don't comment on it or say something, it's so ironic because most of the times people comment on the house is a mess. It's immaculate. You know, we all know that person that's like, oh, I should have straightened. And you're like, this would be a really good day for me if my house looked like this. Like this is
sandbagging.
So yeah, I just don't get what self-awareness is something that people lack so much. But I wanted to say, so my hair girl was like, oh, I just, shit out a baby. I can't do your hair. I'll give you to someone else. And this girl kind of fried my hair. She did a good job. Like it looks good, but it's been just getting tangled every single day since. And it's just dry. And my hair and makeup girl that I use every day regularly, who did not do my hair, she just does my hair for day jobs. I was like, it's just not been the same since. It's constantly getting tangled and I'm very tender-headed. So she brushes it and I go, and she's like, oh my God, what am I doing? And she feels so bad. And I'm like, ever since I went to that girl. And this was her big opportunity to go, yeah, I've noticed. It's like she didn't do a good job. This isn't my fault that you're tender-headed right now. But she didn't. She's a nice person. She was just like, I don't know. I think maybe since then I've noticed that you've been a little bit more sensitive, but it looks good. Like she had every opportunity to throw her under the bus. And that's why I love Leia Oakley is like my girl, is that I gave her opportunity to shit on someone. I kind of wanted her to. She didn't take it. And that is so rare because everyone loves to throw someone else under the bus, including me. It feels good when you come in and you're like, oh, yeah, that person didn't know what they were doing. I got this. That is
nice. I had the dentist in California look at my teeth when they were temporary veneers, and she was like, they did a good job. This looks great to me. And I was like, thank God. But there's something in my personality where I have to keep picking at a scab over and over. So it's like now it's been a couple months and I'm like, but what about now? What would someone say now? Like maybe these permanent veneers are not quite right. Were your teeth like
a constant before you got them fixed? Because I didn't remember you commenting on your teeth a lot before you got them fixed. It kind of just happened.
Now they're sensitive all the time. So I can't enjoy a drink without being like, like it's heat sensitive, cold sensitive. I'm like many times in the day, I'm like aware of my fucking nerves. Or it's just
common?
Annoying.
Oh my God.
It's common for me to feel sensitive about shit. Like I'll be annoyed at noise or whatever. But I think anyone with this level, not anyone, I would say 40% of people in my situation would be annoyed too. And the rest of them wouldn't even notice.
And do you read about it online? Do other people report the same stuff? Yeah.
But then I'll Google
up to 4 months after?
I don't know. Yeah, people say for months and months, but then it's horror stories of like, if you Google veneers, like the 7th thing or something is like, can I undo this? Like, can I go back? Regret. So it's
well, the most extreme, you could take the veneers off and then get root canals on both those teeth and then put veneers back on.
Yes. Okay. I think that's something I've like thought of, but that's so intense.
Wow.
Yeah, root canals aren't a big deal.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that when they take the whole tooth out?
No.
Elective. Elective makes you feel like, why did I do this to myself? It's my fault. But it isn't because you didn't plan on this.
And there's no free will. And we're back.
And we're back. There isn't. It's, you didn't plan on wanting veneers, even though you feel like you chose them. It's an illusion. The self is an illusion. I want to get a brow lift so bad. And I want to find a time to schedule it. I think I'm going to do it right after my special.
Me too.
But I'm also like, I'm scared of complications. Like I'm scared of this bullshit. Like I can honestly, headphones are the greatest way to show.
Yes.
That's it. Tiny. And I want to maybe do a slight blepharoplasty, which is like having this skin just removed a little bit, not to the point that like I know women who've had blepharoplasties and it looks fucking nuts. I want one that people you would never notice. And I know that's like, well, what's the point of doing it? Because it's so slight. But when I go like this, if you watch on YouTube, I know it looks a little bit like, whoa, dun, 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 like I'm doing a racist thing, but it's not like this.
Were you singing
If I
Turning
just pull it-
Japanese?
I don't know. Probably.
I think you were.
But it looks like, well, can we not acknowledge that Asian people have eyes that are
Yes,
different
we
than
can.
ours anymore? Is that not a thing that we have to pretend like that isn't a thing? So yeah, like you can just see. If I guess whenever I go like this, I'm always like, oh my God, I look so good when I'm just bummed out. You know, when I'm like holding my face like, oh God, I'm so tired of life. This side of my face that's tired of life looks awesome. The other side looks tired of life.
Is that the fox lift? Isn't it called like a fox eye lift?
Yeah, I think maybe that's a type of brow lift, but yeah, what I would do is a brow lift, and I want to go to Dr. Diamond, but even just to see him is $1,000 that will then go towards your surgery. But if you don't decide to do it, you've just wasted $1,000 to go talk to this guy for literally 10 minutes, I'm guessing. At the most he's going to spend with you, maybe 3. I've been to these celebrity doctors before, but there's a girl whose face I really like, and I go, where do you go? And she told me, and it was him. So, yeah, I don't know, but I'm worried that I'm just gonna be in pain for this really dumb, and I'll go like, why did I do that? I just don't want my life to be filled with, why did I do this? I could have just, but now there's Charlize Theron. There was this like headline that I shared on the girls chat where she has not had face work done, but there were a bunch of headlines based on these new pictures of her that said she had bad face work. And she's like, I didn't have bad face work. I've had none. So even if you don't have face work, people go, she had face work, but she did a Groupon, you know? And so you might as well just get it done because they're going to say you have bad face work anyway. Mm-hmm.
So Charlize Theron has had no face work at all?
No.
As you took the words right out of my mouth, Brian.
Does lasers count as face work?
I don't think so. That's
filler?
still to me, even though they penetrate, it's topical. Yes, that counts. And I think she's probably had filler and Botox. But I'm thinking she has not undergone surgery. I don't think so. But we would have to check with Lori Hill, Lorry Hill on YouTube. But I checked, and yesterday and she doesn't have a video about
looks
Charlize.
Bad. I mean,
there was just probably one little headline somewhere, and she decided to comment on it, and now it's a bigger thing. You know, the way Taylor Swift is used to make people have bigger headlines. Thank you to all the besties who sent me a clip of someone that I won't even mention because I was just like, I'm not even going to give this a view. I know what he's doing. He's bringing up Taylor Swift so he gets clicks. It's genius. He's good at that stuff. But I was like, and people were like, but he says she's amazing. And I go, I don't give a fuck. Of course he does. He's not going to say she's bad. This person's controversial, but they know better than that. To like pick the most famous person and say something negative. If I wanted clicks, do you know what I would do? I would make Taylor Swift videos where I just, I could do this because I actually have knowledge on Taylor Swift more than I went to one Eras concert because I got it for free from my agent, which is probably what this person's story is.
I really enjoyed your trivia, your Taylor Swift trivia. I listened to it last night. It was so funny and so cute. You were on Chris's radio show and you aced that trivia challenge.
Thank you. I didn't even know that I would be good on so many of them. We'll talk about it when we get back from break. We have to go to break right now. Thank you for listening to that, Anya. It's on the Courtney Show podcast if you want to check it out. And the title of the episode is Nikki Does a Taylor Swift Quiz. And it's about 3/4 of the way through the show if you want to hear it. But we'll be back after this. Yeah, so yesterday I called into a Peoria radio station and Chris's radio station. I booked them both on the same day because I had to wake up at 6 because I'm on the West Coast and they in the Central. And promoting my shows September 15th in Chicago, September 16th in Peoria. And then the list goes on, and I'm on tour all fall long and leading to a special taping and then some. So please check out those dates and come out to see me. But I called into Chris's show and he quizzed me on Taylor Swift. And yeah, it was really fun. I got one lyric wrong, which I'm going to do. So people were like, you got something wrong? And I'm like, yeah, she has like 1,000 songs and that's not an exaggeration. And I don't know all of them because when I know her songs, I know them. There's no just like, I've either never listened to a song or I know all of it. So there's some of her songs I literally have never listened to because I'm not ready to commit to memorizing it. But I did know her parents'
My favorite
name.
was when he's like, "What are her parents' names?" And you're like, "I don't know this. I don't know." And then you're like, "Scott?" And he's like, "Yes." And you're like, "But I don't know her mom's name." And he's like, "I'll give you a hint, one letter." And then immediately you get it, like Andrea or something,
Andrea.
Right?
Yes.
So you totally,
I was very happy with myself.
Subconscious knows all.
Yes, it does. I consume. I mean, my Instagram. It's only Taylor Swift. Every single video. It's my friends don't show up anymore. It's just suggested accounts like T Swift.
It's like a real addiction.
Sizzle.
I don't see my friends. I don't see my family. I'm struggling at work because everything is just Taylor Swift. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I just don't have anything anymore.
I wasn't sure if I should send this to you, Nikki, because I was like, I guess like when I see Taylor Swift stuff now in my Instagram feed, I really want to send it to you. But sometimes I think it would be punishing you because you like already know about it. But the other day I saw a video of Taylor Swift covering Eminem. And at first I was reluctant to press it. Oh, okay, fine. So I'll find it and send it to you. I don't think it's AI. Was
it a video of her?
It was her in concert, I guess, just like doing a cover of Lose Yourself. And she was much younger.
I've never seen that. Oh.
And she sounded so good. Unless I fell for AI, but I'm pretty sure it was real.
I don't think you did. That sounds like something. I would say that Swift besties are constantly sending me Swiftie stuff. And I would say 50% of the time I haven't seen it. So I would say keep sending that stuff, whether it's like people in the stands doing funny things. Most of the security guard dances I've seen where it's like, oh, this person got a job just so they could see Eras Tour. It's like an old man like dancing to her. I've seen that stuff. But beyond that, there is so much content out there. I don't watch all of it. So I would love for people to send me funny stuff they find or just Spade is constantly sending me Taylor Swift stuff. He sent me one of the funniest videos out there that I wouldn't have seen without him. And it's her doing the knew he was a killer right before I saw like this dance, baby let the games, ready for it. And she's doing this, if you're Swiftie, you know what I'm talking about. She's doing the dance during Eras Tour where she's like kind of bouncing back on both her feet, her legs are spread out, and she's kind of baby let the games begin, let the games, and then they took her and they put her in front of a soccer goal, and it looks exactly like she's like trying to block as they're coming in, and then her little like image spins and kicks the ball. I sent it to Chris because it was so funny, and he was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was so good. So some stuff I'm like, thank God this bestie sent it. So yeah, keep that stuff coming. I always like it. And Noah, you had a question about brow lifts before. You were like, I have a question. It's okay if you can.
I was going to ask if the question was if you consider lasers face work, because I am about to go for a consultation. Because your girl needs some maintenance.
You've never had laser?
Well, lasers.
You're doing good.
Aren't lasers are they to tighten or it's like to resurface your skin? It's like all outside.
It's everything. There's so many different types of lasers. I used to have all these broken capillaries along my face, and there's one called V-beam that's really good. Just zaps them all. I used to have melasma or little sunspot. There's a really great laser for that. Fraxel is great to do like once a year. It just like resurfaces your whole face. I like Amy's joke about how you look the same 6 weeks later. But in my case, I found an old picture of my skin, like, of me 10 years ago before my very first laser facial. And I was like, damn, my skin looks better, way better now. So I would say 2 thumbs up for laser. Also, Nikki, I'm transitioning hopefully out of Botox and fillers. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm going to see how I can do it with just, non-invasive things as I age.
Why are you out?
I just don't. It's such a waste of money. It doesn't last in my body. And I'm like, I think it looks weird to just do. Filler is so expensive. The last time I did it, I think it was like $2,000 and it was gone within 6 weeks. I looked.
Yeah, you metabolize it. I always say it was the most expensive meal of my life.
It's so true. I think about that every time they're doing it. I'm like, please.
$1,000 one course
it's
meal.
Not preventative.
So funny.
So I'm doing more preventative stuff now. I'm doing a thing called micro
needling.
What it's called? No, not micro needling. It's
micro dosing.
Yeah, that's why I feel so good.
Micro machines.
Machining.
And I'm doing radio frequency, not radio frequency micro needling, which feels like a staple gun to the face.
They just play old Stern episodes into your face.
Howard Stern.
Yeah, I'm just radio frequency. Yeah, this is the thing. There's too many things. It's overwhelming. I don't like it. Speaking of microdosing, there's too many things for that too. My friends are like, my friend is now talking about doing sassafras tea rituals where you trip out. Then there's ayahuasca. Then there's the frog stuff, which I would never use because it harms frogs, and that's not cool. And then and there's just too many. There's LSD. There's acid, which I know is LSD. There's some stuff that's this is just acid. Then there's DMT. It's like there's too many psychotherapies. There's talk therapy. There's EDMR. Reiki. There's neurofeedback where you hook your head up to little sensors. There's too much, and
this is a result of too much comfort. We are too comfortable in our lives. And if like people in the state of nature didn't need to get all sorts of lasers and needles and therapies because we were too busy running away
off the trail.
Well, no, it was because we were too busy running away from tigers and lions and shit to worry about, oh my God, am I slightly uncomfortable about like a specific thing? And I think that's partially why so many people are depressed in today's world is because we're just a little bit too comfortable. Maybe climate change is good.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, I don't think that's good. I mean, it's just natural. Climate change is natural. Even though it's brought on by unnatural things, the Earth is just trying to like eliminate a pest that's on it, that's killing it. So that's why it's heating up, and that makes sense. We all have heard that. No, Brian, it's very explosive, and save that for our intrusive thoughts bonus episode from Big Money Players. If you go to Apple Podcasts, subscribe and pay
I will
extra.
go off on why climate change is good and intrusive thoughts.
Okay. Well, this was a bestie wrote this to me. Shout out to Kelly. She heard me talking about Down syndrome kids because I've been watching young adults, Down for Love on Netflix, which is about people with Down syndrome looking for love. And she said, "Hi, Nikki. I heard you talking about Down syndrome on the pod and wanted to let you know I have a 10-year-old son with Down syndrome, and you are exactly right. He is one little ball of love. He wants hugs all the time. He gets super excited about the little things. I'm talking joyous." In all caps, over the pizza guy delivering a pizza. And I think a lot of it is because of his intellectual delays. He just doesn't have all that bullshit swirling through his brain. He is just happy or sad or whatever. He's not running conversations and interactions through his head, analyzing everything. He's truly living in the present moment. And there's something pretty beautiful about that, right? I never realized how beautiful simplicity is until I had him. Thanks for talking about it on the pod. Love you. So I love that because it's exactly what you're saying. Like, we are so bogged down by... We're too comfortable, or our brains are betraying us. They're too smart. Like sometimes it would be nice to not be so intellectual, because I think the smartest people are the most depressed. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn by being like, and I'm very, very depressed. I have a PhD in depression. But people always go, why are comedians depressed? And I'm like, because comedians' job, who knows why really, but our job is to analyze things and look at things for what they really are and synthesize it to share it with you. And so you sit in your seat and go, oh my God, that's so true. I never thought of that. So if we're constantly looking at the world and going like, what's really going on here? That's pretty depressing. And so it is a bummer. And sometimes I think that's why I like to smoke a little weed, or like, that's why I love drinking, because I wanted to get stupid. I wanted to, let's get, that was a song that we sang. Let's get, you know the word. I want to get that because, yeah, that's right. I want to get it started. That
after that song came out,
instead of the R word.
No, people were saying that after that song came out. People in like high school and stuff started saying, "It started." Instead of the R word.
Oh my God. Damn
Stop
it. That's
getting it
so
started,
funny.
Todd.
Oh, that's good. That feels like a nice little place to be with that word. Because, it's like the Louis bit about when he says people say the N word and he just prefer they say it, because you're like, well, now you're making me say it in my brain. Like, you don't want to say it, but now I'm saying it. And the truth is, I don't say it when I hear the N word.
Oh my God. Have you guys seen the new, Tracy, what the fuck is the name? Tracy Morgan? Tracy Morgan special. It is so fucking funny, but he says the N word
so funny.
like 5,000 times. It is the most offensive, misogynistic special, and we laughed so fucking hard. It is so good. I just have to recommend that.
He gets it a little it started. You know what I'm saying? Like he kind of done like he's just like saying it's free flow. There's no like worrying about how might I present this in a way that people can really, I want people to think. He's just up there having fun. But yeah, what was it? Oh yeah. This show, Down for Love, you guys gotta watch it. It's so fucking sweet. And I gotta say, when in my struggle for if I want kids, I think if I do eventually, I think Chris and I would be down to adopt a Down.
Would be down.
We'd be down. Down for adoption would be our show that I'm going to pitch.
That's a great
I'm going to build
show.
a show around it. Down for adoption, and we adopt a kid with Down syndrome because there's just so much, even watching the show, and I know the show is just like not showing the really hard times, which, with every kid, there's hard times, but I think with kids with delays, it's definitely even harder. And I don't mean, I would definitely know it's going to be harder than you think. You guys heard my rant yesterday. I know. But I think that's probably where I would veer towards is...
You know what's really challenging
if I wanted
about
kids
that?
like doing a good thing. Yeah.
So I have a friend in town here, and his son is not... He doesn't have Down syndrome, but he's special needs. He's like severely autistic and can't function on his own. And his dad is in his 60s and he's overweight. And I met him at the gym. He's trying to get healthy and in shape because his son relies on him. So the challenge for a lot of these parents is, what is going to happen when I pass on? Who is going to take care of my child?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of like a sad.
That is a sad part of it because I did say, if you were the type of mom that wants to have a 6-year-old lovey-dovey son, like I guess 6 is where they kind of turn into brats, but like 5-year-old boy, 4-year-old boy that always wants to hug his mama, and his mom always goes, I don't know what happened. He used to be so cuddly. If you want that for a really long time, you got to go downs. But go down to the river. You got to go down. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be funny and I shouldn't be about this. But I think it's like you just have an adult child that has that kind of disposition. But that is the fear, is that they need someone to take care of them later on. That's why I would only do it with Chris if we had a plan of action for that. But I would also say, this is my new fucking thing that I am a little upset about. I am very aware of many men who wait to have kids into their 50s, maybe 60s. They meet a young lady, they knock her up, they get to be old dads, and everyone gives them shit. You're not gonna be able to pick up your kid at his graduation. I just combined two things, but you know what I'm saying. You're gonna be in a wheelchair at his graduation. You can't pick him up when he's a toddler, whatever. But people kind of let it go. We kind of go, well, he's got a young mom, the kid's gonna be okay. Right. He has an old dad. Theo Vaughn had an old dad. We talked about this before. It's kind of culturally acceptable. Yeah, the dad's gonna get a little shit, but it's not like verboten, right? Can you imagine if I was 57 and I said, I want a kid now? And they go, well, you can't have one, lady. And I go, but why does this dude get to have one? Well, he has a young wife who had him one. Okay, well, can I get a surrogate? Do you think they would let me, as a 57-year-old woman, get a surrogate and adopt her baby?
To
Do you think?
Debrat she gave birth to her son at age 49. Her and her wife had a baby.
Okay, well, I'm talking past the time I can give birth. Do you think someone would let me adopt a child at 57 years old? No, but I'm 57, not 49.
Oh, 57.
You can adopt, can't you? Or is it? I know Diane Keaton adopted late. I want to say 50, but she was probably in her 40s.
I'm talking I feel 58, 59, 57, late 50s.
Like, can you, to make it even worse, do you think you'd be allowed to adopt? Are you allowed to adopt a baby in your 70s? There's got to be a rule against that. Like, if you're 75, can you adopt a baby? California has no adoption age limit.
Okay.
I'm sure the grandma on Down for Love adopted her granddaughter. The one who lost, their mom died.
So I have to have I have to have a girl first, and then have her have a Down syndrome kid, and then have my daughter die of brain cancer, and then I get her, and then I can have a baby when I'm 70. Well, see, I know you can do it, but I think it would be a little bit, this is the difference between being a mom and a dad. Like, I want to be a dad. This seems like a sweet gig. And I know I'm not the first comedian to ever say this. I'm not trying to like do a bit here. It's a little bit bitty, but being a dad is, people go, do you and Chris want kids? And I go, I don't think us would be good to have kids. And I go, maybe if like we broke up and I met someone else, like I could consider having kids with it. And they go, oh, then that means your relationship is bad. I'm like, you're not listening to me. My boyfriend, my lover, is a dad. He's got a dad energy. I would need a man who's got a mom energy in order for me to have kids because I want to be a dad. So I'm not saying if I broke up with Chris, I would I desperately want a kid. So I got to find a guy that's like a mom energy. I'm saying the only reason it would seem like a good idea to me is if I found a mom type guy.
I have a perfect answer for you.
Oh.
You need a mom. You guys stay together. You adopt a kid,
or we hire a mom,
acquire a kid, and then you hire a mom. Yeah, it's called a nanny.
Oh yeah, but here's my thing about the nanny. I said it yesterday. I'd have to help out. I'd have to help out, and I'd be worried about
just go to therapy
and I would
for that
worry
impulse.
about the judgment of all the other women being like, "Well, we didn't get a nanny," and
fuck those women.
I don't know.
Fuck their judgment.
Fuck them and knock them up and give them more kids. What'd you say?
I have some adoption facts that are pretty incredible here. Yeah, so California has no adoption age limit. There are several states that require the parent to be at least 18 years old, which means that you can adopt when you're 18. There are several states that require parents to be at least 21 years old. That means you can adopt when you're 21. There are some states, Georgia and Idaho only, that require you to be at least 25. I think they're more right. Like, I don't know why you would, I guess I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But there are states that require the parents to be at least 10 years older than the adopted child. That means that if you're an 18-year-old in California, you could potentially adopt
a 17-year-old.
You could adopt an 8-year-old. You have to be at least 10 years older.
Oh, none of us can do that.
Okay, gotcha.
You could graduate high school and then immediately adopt an 8-year-old. Isn't that a little strange?
I thought you had interesting facts to give.
That's not interesting?
Oh wait, you didn't say the interesting part. You just said facts.
That you could be 18 years old and adopt an 8-year-old kid.
That makes sense. I picture like our mom sucks. Or my aunt sucks. She's died of a heroin overdose. I've already raised her kids as a 17-year-old girl. I was babysitting them a lot. They're 10. I'm a responsible person. I'm going to adopt them. That's not too crazy to me. But the thing about
it is
adoption,
interesting. A 70-year-old in California could adopt, or an 80-year-old.
Yeah,
there are private agencies that limit the adoption at 40. They say there's a cutoff age at 40 for many of the private agencies.
For men and women.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for that stat. Because that's like, well, of course it's in California. And by the way, for a mom who's 40 is not old.
I know.
That is such a weird cutoff. I don't like that at all. Did you guys have old parents or young parents?
I would say
Anya had young.
My mom was 30, and then she had my sister at 37.
I guess that's kind of, that's old for back then.
Maybe older for then. Yeah.
Yes.
But I never felt like they were normal.
I still disagree about this 18-year-old adopting an 8-year-old thing. Like, I know that the example is always like you can't rent a car until you're 25. So in this country, you can adopt a kid at 18,
the same
but
day you get a gun.
You can't rent a car to drive it to the hospital.
Why is the car rental thing? That's such a funny number. Like, it's the last thing you get before Social Security.
It's 25 or 21.
I think the problem
25.
isn't all the other analogies we compare to the 25-year-old car rental. I think the problem is the car rental age.
I mean, what if you're a parent of some adopted kids and you have to rent a car because you guys are like taking a road trip? You can't do it for 7 years.
You can, because I rented cars before 25. You got to use a credit card. You can't use your debit card. So you have to be 25 to be able to use a debit card to rent a car. We'll be right back after this with more facts.
Not interesting facts.
Yeah, I said a blank. No, those were interesting facts, Brian. It didn't mean to make you feel bad about your facts, even though Brian really never feels bad. Exactly. I knew it. I
just disagree that those were interesting.
Brian doesn't feel bad. That's the best thing about Brian. You can kind of be insulting, and he just goes, and I go, Brian, I didn't mean to like hurt your feelings. And he goes, I don't have those. And not that you don't. I'm just kidding. But Brian doesn't take things personally. It's amazing. Yeah.
I'm still thinking about how yesterday or the other day when you guys were having your debate on free will, how you were like, you're smarter than this. And he did not get insulted by you're smarter than this.
No,
because he knows he's smart, and so he doesn't like. It'd be like me being like, Anya, I hate your brown hair, and you just be like, well, that's not a thing I have, so I'm not going to get offended by that. I guess. Right. And he just knows he's smart.
It's the real color I'm covering up by bleaching.
Yeah. But I think that when someone insults my intelligence, I get offended because deep down I think I am kind of stupid. Or like if they insult
that is my
you're not funny, I go, I'm not secure about those things. But I was going to say yesterday, Brian, 2 of the girls that witnessed our fight, not fight, but our debate that were in the room, they were here yesterday. You were not. Stacy says to me, Nikki, and by the way, those girls did not say anything the entire time, right? They were just looking at each other. And anytime I referenced how awful it was, they would laugh. So I knew they were listening, right? So
it was, it was like when mom and dad are fighting or something and the kids are just like, oh boy.
I really was triggered by doing that to someone. And I also was thinking yesterday, I bet there is a recording of us doing that because I bet one of them recorded it to be like, oh, I got to play this for my husband later to see what I put up with at work. Like we probably could get a recording of it. So Stacy was like, the thing you and Brian were talking about yesterday, by the way, these girls did not weigh in at all on the subject. They were out. They did not go like, I kind of see what she's saying. I didn't even know if they were actually listening until I actually made fun of it and then they laughed. But she goes, my husband wrote his PhD thesis about Sam Harris. And I go, what? And she was like, I don't know if it's PhD, but she was like, he wrote his doctorate thesis, whatever it was. I don't know things because I'm not smart. Don't tell that to me because I'm insecure about it. But she was like, yeah, he wrote a paper about how people that believe there's no free will versus people who are really into The Secret. Or stuff like that, manifestation. People that read The Secret use you or use the word I and me and self a ton. Whereas people who are really into the idea of no free will are much more about us or that, like they don't use you, they don't use self because they're not selfish, because they don't believe that they are a self. And so she was like, he did a whole paper on it. I'm like, send me that paper. And she goes, oh, he's obsessed with Sam Harris. And I was like, I cannot believe you were sitting dormantly while I was like about to start crying when Brian goes, I don't like the Sam Harris guy. And I go, don't bring him into this. If you don't like him, it's because I'm not doing a good job of representing what he is. And but she was sitting there all along and her husband's a huge Harris head. I was so excited. So that happened yesterday. I wanted to update you about it.
That's insane.
But I did
How could you not chime in? I guess it was just
no chiming.
She didn't want to bust into that.
You guys she just was intimidating.
Well, she didn't know until she got home because she was like, no, I don't know. I mean, I have these people hanging out in my bedroom 13 hours a day. So I would hope that I'm not that intimidating. I think other celebrities might kick people out. And I'm not trying to be like, I'm a woman of the people, but I am. And final thought, I am. You know what? Because I get told all the ding dang time how nice I am to work with, how different I am than people to work with. And let me just say, I'm not that nice. I'm not that easy to work with. As people in this fucking chat know, sometimes I can be a little difficult. But compared to the nightmarish talent that is out there in the world, I am a dream because I get told it a lot because talent sucks. Your favorite celebrity probably sucks. I had a friend recently tell me about this girl and send a picture of her IMDb and be like, do you guys know this girl? I just caught her screaming at a barista about how the coffee machine isn't cleaned and they need to clean it, screaming at fucking 7:45 in the morning. And she's like, I've never witnessed anything like it. This girl is so entitled. And I looked her up, and what a cunt. I hate this girl so much. There's a part of me, I don't want to get my friend fired, but if my friend couldn't be traced to this, I would write her and say, who the fuck do you think you are, you little Nepo baby scum? You wouldn't be anywhere without your looks. You can't even act that good, as I've ranted about on this exact podcast before. You're not that talented. You're hot. That's all you have going for you. I can't wait till your fucking age and you have a little bit of you have to reckon with the outside world because you're living in a dream world where you think you could yell at someone like this. I wanted to just write her and go, you're a bad person. And on my account that has my little blue check mark and go, you can't fucking hurt me. You have no power. I don't even want to be in movies. I don't want to be in TV shows. Your life can't affect mine. You're trash. You're a bad person. And I hope you die alone. I hate this girl. If you're a celebrity who treats people with disrespect because you think you're somehow born with talent and that you're more special than other people, you should read Sam Harris's Free Will, because you are nothing but lucky. You have no talent. You were just born with a brain that was good at memorizing lines. You were born with a godfather who is one of the most famous actors of all time. That's all you were. That's all you were. And you're a bitch. And you treat people badly because you are hot. And you're disgusting.
You get very protective of your friends, because yesterday's conversation about running the light and your friend going up after this person, and now your friend texting you about this like bitchy celebrity.
I don't know if it's my friend. It's just like people that have a job where they're a barista. Like, she should be lucky she's not a barista. No one wants to be a barista. Maybe some people do, and so much respect if that's your passion and cafe art is like your thing that you're into, because I know some people are. But most people don't want to be a fucking waitress, okay? Most people don't want to make $12.50 an hour or whatever it is. So be nice. And don't think that you're not them because you are a cooler person or a better person. You just got lucky that you have famous parents. And don't yell at this person who doesn't give a fuck about this coffee machine. She doesn't give a fuck about your coffee. She's just trying to get through the day and pay rent in this godforsaken town that's impossible to live in. That's the thing. I read an article about LA. They're going to lose everyone here, crew, because no one can afford to live here anymore. So Hollywood is going to stop making things. Like, this town is slowly being drained of its production teams because they're not paid enough. They're not paid. Even actors aren't paid enough, as we know now.
No, and many of the richer actors and producers are also leaving because the taxes are too high. So there's not going to be any crew or actors or producers, that's good. Or lawyers or agents. St. Louis. Yeah,
I'm staying away from this girl, and I'm sorry to get so mad because I should just forgive her because she was not. It's not her fault. She was born with a brain that treats people badly and parents who have taught her that. And she was born into luxury and a rich family that she didn't have to learn that she wasn't born with empathy. So again, I should have compassion and feel sorry for her, which I do, because I do think she's going to die alone because I kind of hexed her today. But did it make you mad when you read that, Noah? Like, does it fire you up when you hear these like fucking privileged hot people treating people like yelling, being Karens about stuff? And then everyone worships this girl because she's pretty and she's like in vogue and like just sitting in a doorway taking a photo shoot where she looks cuddly and so kind, and everyone's gonna go, oh my God, girl, I love you. And they don't even know. That's why I hate actors, because you don't know who they truly are. At least comedians are being themselves.
It's not just that. So this is my take, just working behind the scenes, and working with you for so long is a blessing because you are not like these fucking people. And it ranges from like nobody radio hosts to celebrities. These people, I guess they get some sort of like power trip from being on air and having fans and all that stuff. That's one thing. And then the other thing is, when you're just like this high level celebrity, I think what I realize is that your whole like reality shifts because everyone's placating to you. Everyone freaks out when they see you on the street. And when you have that every single day, it like warps who you are in real life.
Yes.
And that's what
it's a disease they can't help but get. But I guess, I mean,
but there's no reason to be shitty to other people.
Yeah.
Please send us videos of this shit next time you see it. Or
that's
audio.
all I want. Is like, if you've had a bad encounter with celebrities, will you please put some fuel on my fire? Because I really am at a point in my career, I don't care about being in movies. So most people can't affect my life or like TV shows. I kind of have, if I talked bad about a celebrity, and I'm not going to say this girl's name because I guess I'm a little scared because I'm only not saying it honestly because my friend, I don't want her to get fired from her job. And they would just interrogate everyone who witnessed this. This girl would go, I got a message about someone saying that I did this at this place. I wish I could just say a patron maybe recognized it. You know what I'm saying? Like I could just write to her and say, I saw someone witness you be disgusting to another human being who like was operating a coffee machine that you didn't think was clean enough. Who do you think you are? You better watch out because you don't want to run into me because I will run away from you because I'm scared.
Starbucks. Remember me? This is not extra hot. I was doing it for you, but we were trying to be so nice. And the girl, yes. Someone just submits a video of me being like, this is not actually extra hot. Not like they do it in the States.
Yeah, that's even, that tone isn't that good. Like but that's why I was like, let Anya do this because she can maybe kind of lay down that, like, I would go, I'm so sorry. This is so annoying. Like I'd have to do a whole speech about like, I know you guys hate people who do this, but this sucks. Like it's not because I'm like such a good person. It's because I think I constantly remember that could be me. Why can't people do that? Like just, what if that was me? Like the simplest thing we've been learning since we were kids of like, put yourself in someone else's shoes. I feel like that's all you have to live by. And then you're nicer to everyone. And that's not to say that this girl could have had gotten some bad news. Like the times that I've behaved a little bit like this in my life have been when I am low on sleep. I am really, what was that? Brian, sorry you cut out and I just heard school.
Yeah. So what do you think I said? What do you think I said after school?
I think all I heard was school. So I think you said, it's like in school when your teacher says, Brian, are you listening? And you go, yes. And you yell at your teacher because you're tired.
No, I was saying
that it?
that they should teach empathy in school. It should be a required course. It should be like math, science, history, empathy should be one of the courses that every child needs to learn.
Yes.
Finance.
That's such a good idea.
Yes, it is because I that's what I did when I was a teacher for 3 months here in LA at a Korean prep school. It was all Korean kids. Told this before, but they used to just always say gay pejoratively. And I was really fed up with it. And so one day we were supposed to like work on 5-paragraph essays or something. And I was like, can we just like take a second to talk about you guys always saying gay and why that's like not the coolest thing? And I go, what do you think about gay people? Like, do you think people choose to be gay? Like, let's say that you think gay is like an embarrassing thing to be. Do you think people choose to be it? And they were like, yeah. And I go, okay, well, that's strange. Let's piece that apart. And then I use the David Cross bit that he put out in an album probably from 2000, which is like, why would someone choose to be something that makes them ostracized from possibly their family and makes them feel different? And I know people are always saying about trans, like they just want attention, and maybe 1 in 1,000 trans people is doing it for attention. But let's go off of like the majority of people who are these things are probably like, when they first find out, are like, fuck, I just want to fit in. I don't want to stand out. This sucks. And these kids really got it for whatever reason. I was able to communicate this point very cogently. And this one kid, Alexander, I'll never forget. We were going through at the end of the semester and saying what we learned. And he announced to everyone, including the other faculty, that I learned that gay people, being gay isn't a choice. I was like, oh my God, I changed. This kid is going into 9th grade and that impacted him in a real way. And he was not a gay kid or so, like he could have been, what do I know? But he was more like a bully that was kind of setting the tone for everyone else. And so it was like a major moment for me that I got through to this kid about that. And that's all you kind of do is like, do you think this person that I'm making fun of right now, who's, obese and getting on a plane and me being like, oh, I hope they don't sit next to me. Oh, God. Do you think they want to feel that way? Well, then stop eating. Don't you think they would if they could? Maybe it's something that's a little out of their control, but I can stop eating. Do you think maybe you might have a different brain and a different upbringing than they did that gave you a sense of control over something that they don't have? Could that be? Like just run it through that kind of thing. And I'm not good at this all the time. There are times where I get so frustrated with people and I'm like, that girl I just got mad at. I was able to turn it around and say, actually, maybe she just grew up without empathy and super hot. And no one, like Noah said, she's never had to work at a coffee shop. She's never had to have empathy. So how do I expect her to have it? Why am I mad? But I just think that it doesn't take that much and I just still don't understand why people still get work in this town after they've been so horrible. I heard a story recently about a guy who was so fucking horrible on set that people were getting panic attacks to even go in and like ask his lunch
Harvey
order.
Weinstein?
Right? I know. No, someone currently around that is just, everyone knows, some people love that. I just wish there was a place like Deux Moi, instead of them being like, guess who's dating this person from the Netflix show This Summer I Turned Pretty. Like, where can we just go and say all the horrible things celebrities have done? And sometimes they have that stuff, but it seems like almost made up. So that's what I want, is just a dump for people to say this person's an asshole. Because industry knows. The Ellen stuff was going around a decade or more before it went across the nation.
You want an anonymous posting board where you can kind of grade actors on their kindness. Like teachers have that. There's a website that's like teachergrades.com, and then students can
rate
go
my
in.
professor.
And like if rate my professor. So if a certain actor or producer or director gets a bad enough rating, then it needs to be investigated by the CIA.
Yes. I love that. Actually, I saw an article. What?
I'm just gonna, potentially they should be kicked out of the country and sent to work in labor camps on an oil rig. Yes.
I mean, every industry has just disgusting people. People get in. How many people just like hate their bosses? Bosses are terrible. You almost don't want to be a boss because bosses are so connotated with being terrible people because that power. We got to go, but I was going to say there was an article I came across recently that said what Taylor Swift can teach the industry about kindness. And her giving $100,000 to everyone on her tour, she gives away a lot of her money. And I know she makes billions, so it doesn't matter, but I really haven't heard stories about her being unkind almost ever. And maybe she does a good job of covering them up with her PR team. But I do think that there are other people on tours right now being like, man, I wish I would have been on Era's tour. Because these tours all take hundreds of people and they're such hard work. Can you imagine if you were on another tour and you heard that everyone on her tour got $100,000 check? Because that's just not done.
Insane.
People are greedy with their money. Greedy. And I think anytime that she gets slack for being like, when?
I would love to hear one.
Oh, they said I've heard one. I'm like, what?
No, they don't exist. Those people have been executed. I mean, have you ever heard one? You're the queen of TS trivia.
No, I really haven't. I think there's been some times where people have told me something that I didn't even want to know because it's like, that's not like information I should be privy to. Like, even me, I can be nasty sometimes because I'm in a bad mood. Or I've made fun of a friend who I didn't know was extremely sensitive to what I was doing, and I ended up hurting their feelings without knowing it. So I think there's been maybe moments like that for her, because who out there has not hurt someone in their life? But no, I don't.
I read an article that said that Taylor Swift threw a recyclable cup in a regular garbage.
She would never.
Bad.
She would never. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We got to go. We will be here next week. Don't be and just be nice. Other people's shoes. Try them on.